Hello and welcome back to another video. And in this one we'll be looking at this 1981 Starbird Space Avenger by Milton Bradley Electronics, released in 1981. I've basically just done a light restoration on this, including a replacement of the 9-volt battery contact, and yeah, just checked it, testing and working. So this is just going to be a demonstration. So we have this this lovely box. I'm zoomed out a little bit, I'm on 0.8, so the quality might not be quite as good, just to try and fit this box in, but it's quite a large box. On the front we can see all this information's very 80s, isn't it? Exciting engine sounds, flashing photon lights, and an invisible interactive beam. As you can see, there's a target here and it's saying pew pew, alien target, use the pistol grip action to blast the alien targets, see the flashing photon lights, hear the victory signals when you're on target. Dueling Avenger shows that actually when someone else had one of these, you can seek out another one with the photon lights blazing, hear distress signals and spluttering engine sounds when it makes contact. Only one here, so if someone else had that toy, you can kind of shoot at each other. Down here just requires a 9-volt battery, and then if we have a look around, so on the sides basically you can just see just about, so just kind of the basics on this end, the same on the other end, and then here we have again just the information along here, and then on the top, which is the only one that kind of gives away its dates, just down here you can see 1981 by Milton Bradley. So the back of the box, you can see it basically shows here realistic engine sounds, lift off to sounds of accelerating engines, level off for cruising, and then wind down as you come into land. Attack the alien, so you get 3 whoops, which kind of goes whoop whoop whoop, but not, it doesn't actually sound like the word whoop. And then here interact with other Avengers. So here's the detachable interceptors, so they're the little plastic things that fly off, the rotating gun turret, and then it basically shows you here, as will be in the manual, that you can turn it into different versions. So you can put the rocket on the end of this, we can take this section on and have this, so the Avenger fighter for a swifter, more maneuverable ship, or this one here, the Avenger Orbiter, for the fastest craft in the galaxy. And then it also shows there's another one over here called the Space Intruder, which is all in black, looks quite nice. So the box is in reasonable condition. It's got some fraying here, and as I take the lid off, I'll move you down. What I've done is I've just cleaned it up, and then in the corners where the flaps where the end was kind of loose and just opening it up, I've just put some tape in here, and same at the other corners as well. So you've just got that to stabilize those, but it's pretty good. And then moving into the contents, it'd be nice to have this at the back, I just don't have the room. So looking at the contents here, we have the ship, the target, and the manual. Now one thing that is missing is it's supposed to have a little gun turret, a sphere that goes inside there. I'll just show you here. So it looks a little bit like this with the little gun on the top. So it would go in there, and then this part would then just sit there on the top of it to hold it in place. That's missing. It's a cosmetic thing. And also there's these parts here, these little black things, supposed to be interceptors, as we'll see in the manual, that are supposed to sit on the end of the wings. They aren't present either. We'll move on to the ship in a moment. You can see we have the target. It's kind of flat when you get it, and you just fold it over and tuck it into the slots. Just a small tear there, and I think there's another just minor tear and a little bit of bending in places, but actually that's in pretty good condition. And it might just be me, but there's certainly a bit of a Star Wars influence here, isn't there? Especially this kind of symbology that we see in some of the later films. It definitely is trying to tap into that 80s sci-fi and Star Wars type thing. So, and again, I'll tease you a little more. We'll just move on to the manual. So we've got the Avenger here, the operator's manual, as you can see inside. So it's just telling us what we should have. And so you have this ship with the parts on here. It takes a 9-volt battery, the fire button and an on-off button, the main body. So there's that turret that I mentioned, and these parts here, the interceptors. Warranty in the middle, labeling directions of where to put all the stickers, target assembly, just showing how to fold it up. And then to operate the Avenger with a target, you aim the photon beams at the target, press the fire button, and then it must be in the correct position, and then you get the 3 whoop sounds. As it says here, if you shoot into a mirror or another reflective surface, which pretty much seems to be my backing board or the table or anything, it really does reflect quite a lot. It thinks it's hit a target, so you would have had to put that target somewhere where there's no reflective material around, and then it basically shows here that you can make the power orbiter, the Starbird fighter. If you remove the gun turret, it's basically saying that it's an escape pod, and then that's to the rear there. So what we'll do now is we'll have a look at the ship. So in reasonable condition, I've cleaned it up as best as I can. So you've got your stickers on here, it just doesn't have the turret there, has the parts here at the rear, has these bits here that go on. You have and I'll show you underneath as well, so again, all quite nice and clean. So the battery bay, it has a 9-volt battery, just goes in there, and originally there's a little piece of plastic that keeps the battery bay in place, and you use a coin to get it out. Now someone's obviously been a bit overzealous with the coin and snapped the bit of plastic off, so just use a little bit of masking tape there to hold that in place. So you can form a number of different ships, and by doing that you basically can just pull the front off, and that leaves the body there, and then you take the engine out of the back, pop this onto here, and that was whatever we called the Avenger fighter on the back, although in here it calls it the Starbird fighter. And then the other one was the where we remove this front shroud, which the box calls the Avenger orbiter, or in this one it calls it the power orbiter. So you basically just pull this section off here, and that leaves you with this bit to fly around, because ultimately this is the part that houses you know, the infrared transmitters out of here. So you've got the flashing lights here, and then you've got a transmitter and receiver for hitting the target and then signaling whether it has or not. So basically you've got this one here, and then you've got the version where you just line up the rails and slide it inside of this one. So that's that version, and then you can take the engine off the rear, attach it back onto the ship, and then reattach your engine. Just there's again 2 grooves there, so you just line up the grooves, doesn't matter either way, line up the grooves and slide that in. Now for operation, it's very simple. You have the on and off switch here, and then as it mentioned, it's quite loud, but there's basically some noise for takeoff, level and landing. So the way it works, I've taken a photo and I'll pop it here, is just on the circuit board there's a ball inside a little box, and it has some contacts underneath it, and then as you do this, the ball obviously rolls back, and it makes it make one sound. When it's level, the ball sits in the middle, makes another sound, and when it descends, it triggers it to make a descending sound. So you hear like a ooh type affair. To fire, you depress this button, and that will then essentially send the target. If it's missing, it kind of makes a noise, and then if it hits a target, it just goes whoop 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 to show that it's hit. What I'll do, just for convenience of holding it, is I'm just going to remove the body, and we'll go to the slim version. So we'll pull this out, and first of all I'll just show you that kind of ascending and descending noise. Put this here. So turning it on now in the level. So that's it, just level, and then we're taking off. Back into the level. And then we're descending into land. And because you know there's a ball there, if you know you need to just kind of level it or whatever, you know you just need to give it, you know, you're just moving the ball, so you can just move it slightly. And then we should see the lights firing. it's so noisy. So you can see the lights firing, and as I'm pointing it this way, you can hear that kind of classic gun firing noise. And then what I'll do is I'll turn it this way and point it at the target, but ultimately, because everything's so reflective around here, it doesn't really matter where I point it. I'll get the 3 whoops, but I'll point it up here, you'll hear it kind of firing, and then I'll point it at the target and you hear the difference. So that's those 3 whoops. And then if I was to point away, and that's that. So a real quick video. That was the 1981 Milton Bradley Starbird Space Avenger. Probably really great novel toy back in the 80s. The fact that it had that variable sound, it was tying into all that space age, a little bit Star Warsy. You could shoot at the target and also shoot at another one. And I always really like toys that can transform. So the fact that you could build these different modules and, you know, play out your own stories. This one, box is pretty good, just secured the 4 corners. You know, a little bit of ripping on this one on here, but only minor. Cleaned up these as best as I can. We're just missing the sphere and the cannon on here, and the interceptors that would sit on the wings, but that's about it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you'd like to buy this, please check the link in my description, and if you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, comment, subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel. And until the next one, all the best, take care, and see you.